right now on 5 on Your Side at 10.
Tonight, hit hard again.
That tree's going down!
The bi-state battered with fierce winds and torrential rain, leaving thousands without power.
Severe thunderstorms 3 days in a row. Calmer tonight, but storm chances are not over.
But first tonight, a woman is dead after storms uprooted a massive tree, landing on her car. But witnesses say calls for help went unanswered.
She was responsive and that they tried calling 911 repeatedly.
Good evening, I'm Ann Allred. Tonight, we are in storm alert in the aftermath of another day of severe weather. In some parts of the bi-state, it's turned deadly. We have team coverage. Weather First meteorologist Jim Castillo explains if more severe weather is heading our way. But first, 5 on Your Side's Brent Solomon is live in the Grove tonight, where hours ago a woman died in the storm. Brent?
People who live and work in this area at a loss for words tonight. Authorities telling us they got the call about 20 minutes before 5 this evening here at Choteau and Talmadge Avenues. A woman riding out the storm in her car becomes the victim of the storm. Take a look at your screen. Not too long ago. Sadly, that woman died when that tree fell on top of her car. Authorities tell us they arrived on scene within 7 minutes. A woman who owns a business in the area came shortly after the tragedy. She says her property owner alerted her about that tree down just before 4:30. She believes it may have taken nearly an hour before first responders arrived, and by that time it was too late. There was also a man on scene who was waiting out the storm in his car as well.
When the tree came down, he was able to get out of his car, went to her. She was responsive at the time, and an owner of a restaurant down the street also came out because the power went out, and they could talk to her. She was responsive, and that they tried calling 911 repeatedly for over 30 minutes, and finally another neighbor came out who knows a county firefighter, called him to have him call somebody in the city to try to get somebody to get through, just to let them know that this woman's trapped in her car.
Tonight, 5 on Your Side is working to get answers. We've reached out to the mayor's office and the St. Louis Police Department to find out if there's any clarity needed on the response time and whether or not there may have been challenges or delays in getting a hold of a 911 dispatcher. Meantime, I can tell you that we spoke with a worker at a local agency who works directly with the 911 department. That worker says there are indeed staffing challenges within the 911 department. Stay with us as we continue to follow this developing story. We're live in the Grove tonight. Brent Solomon, and back to you.
Thanks, Brent. Let's get to meteorologist Jim Castillo for the latest on the weather. Are you still tracking severe weather? I know you still have strong storms in the area.
Yeah, you know, the last severe cell and just went sub-severe, but that said, there's some strong storms out there and a big cluster right through central Missouri moving east at about 30 miles an hour. And you can see that cluster clearly there. It is moving toward the area following Interstate 70 right back into our area. So we'll zoom in here and you can see the lightning strikes, maybe some small hail with these, and also very heavy downpours on top of whatever we had today. A couple of other new cells also popping up along Interstate 44 west of Sullivan. So we'll watch the skies tonight, even some up there in Greene, Macoupin, and almost Montgomery County. And here's that lightning. This is called a CG, cloud to ground lightning strike right through central west end and also through the St. Louis area. So John, thanks for sending that in. Some of the wind reports over 60 miles an hour, but here's one time of the report here at 3:46 p.m. Pontoon Beach. And of course, we had numerous reports of not only the wind damage, but also trees, power lines coming down, and those really strong wind gusts throughout the area. How much rain did we have? Look at Wentzville. So remember, we're in a pretty severe drought here. So 4 inches of rain is going to help a little bit, but that's a lot of rain, and more showers and storms are coming. St. Charles, 2.35, Forest Park, almost 2 inches, along with Troy and also Edwardsville, about an inch of rain. It is the 4th of July weekend coming up. We'll talk about temperatures, overnight lows in the 70s, plus more storm chances down the road. Ann.
Developing tonight, a majority of St. Louis neighborhoods are under a precautionary boil advisory. The city water division says during the storm, the Chain of Rocks water treatment plant temporarily lost power, causing low water pressure. 23 neighborhoods are affected by this boil advisory, including Hamilton Heights, The Hill, High Point, Tower Grove, South and East, Grand Center, and Midtown. The Water Division says no contamination has been detected in the water supply and issued the boil advisory out of caution. They will analyze water samples before determining when to lift it. Tonight, there is a big mess in downtown St. Louis. Check out this video from Spruce Street showing this ongoing construction of a new apartment complex right next to Start Bar. It looks like either a window or a wall was blown down during today's storms, as well as knocking down some of that scaffolding. The Metro East was hit hard by storms for the second day in a row. In downtown Collinsville, the roofs of several buildings were blown off by the storms. This happened on Main Street off Route 159. We caught up with a bartender who watched it all happen.
I opened the door because it was a little hot inside, and all of a sudden the floor sign flew off, and we're like, oh my goodness. And then I got my phone out, we propped the door open, and the roof just flew off.
Over in East St. Louis, the roof of an apartment complex on State Street was also blown off. Tonight, the cleanup in Columbia, Illinois continues. That city was hit hard by last night's severe storms. We caught up with Lauren Noby, an alderwoman in the Monroe County town. The damaging winds blew over 2 trees in her backyard. One landed on her deck, another crushed her shed and fence.
I was basically just sitting there trying to keep the doors closed while the wind was blowing in and water's just seeping into the bedroom.
Still down across that city, it could take days to restore. Right now, nearly 5,000 customers are without power just in the Columbia area. Yesterday's storms caused a major power outage in the town of Millstadt. Ahead of the 4th of July, the IGA grocery store, you're looking inside of it right now, they are unable to fulfill orders due to the loss of power. They posted this video on social media showing the empty shelves throughout the store. Don't forget, you can stay on top of the weather forecast 24/7. Just text the word weather to 314-425-5355. You can also share storm photos with us by texting that number. Right now, organizations across the St. Louis area are working together to put an end to gun violence in our city. Today, a youth violence forum was held at Harris Stowe State University. Grassroots organizations from across the area came together to discuss solutions and provide resources. It was a part of an ongoing Save Our Youth STL initiative. Precious Jones lives in the city. She knows firsthand the pain gun violence brings. She lost both her son and nephew to gun violence and is fiercely advocating for change.
We are in a crisis. We are in a terrible pandemic. We need answers. We need solutions. We need help from the community, from the parents, from the youth to stop the gun violence. We need to get the guns off of our streets. We need to get the ammunition off of our streets. We do not want to keep burying our children.
Everyone at today's Save Our STL Youth event say they believe everyone in the community needs to step up to help bring an end to youth violence. New information on the Riverview Police Department's officer walkout. 48 hours ago, 7 of the 10 officers walked off the job. The union claiming to represent those officers, Labor's Local 42, says the officers left due to a hostile work environment, including refusal to pay overtime and the Board of Trustees going back on promises of higher pay.
Your actions have caused most of your police department to leave. Now you need to explain to your citizens why you did what you did.
Chairman of the Board of Trustees, Mike Cornell, told 5 on Your Side officers left because he raised the standard of accountability after reports of corruption within the ranks. Cornell says he reported it to the FBI last fall, but never heard back.
Independence Day for St. Mary's will take you to a special celebration as the all-boys school moves away from the Archdiocese of St. Louis. There are a lot of unknowns when it comes to starting a family. How you can make sure you're getting the right nutrients for mom and baby.
The heat and humidity really fueled our severe weather over the past 3 days. Not as hot tomorrow, but still some storm chances.
Today, St. Mary's Southside Catholic High School celebrated its newfound independence with a big block party. Last year, St. Mary's was one of the schools the Archdiocese of St. Louis said would need to close. Now, the all-boys school is an independent school. The principal tells 5 on Your Side because they stayed open, a crisis has been averted in South City.
Not only would it have been devastating to the young men that we serve, pick a number and multiply it, because because that's how much worse this neighborhood would have gotten. We've got an empty Cleveland High School a quarter mile up the street. We've got an empty Scruggs Elementary a quarter mile up the street. This neighborhood could not have absorbed losing St. Mary's High School.
Rosati Kane Academy, which also became an independent school, will have their own celebration at the end of the month.
Storm chances continue tonight. Not as strong as what we had earlier, but there's some storms out there, and I'll check that radar coming up.
There are several things to worry about when pregnant or trying to get pregnant. One of the most important is making sure you are getting the proper nutrients. There's a no one-size-fits-all when it comes to prenatal supplements. Consumer Reports breaks down what's inside those bottles you purchase and make sure you purchase the right one for you. Here's Mike Bush.
I started taking my prenatal vitamin when I was trying to get pregnant.
Taylor Frost Smith is following doctor's orders, taking a prenatal before and during pregnancy. Hers is high in folic acid.
I just don't get enough folic acid in my diet. I don't eat enough fish or spinach, so I'm really hoping that my prenatal vitamin will make up for that.
It's often tough to get large amounts of micronutrients a pregnant person needs from diet alone. That's why prenatal supplements are critical. But which nutrients are most important, and how do you know a supplement is safe?
Almost all prenatal supplements have enough folic acid, but when it comes to other micronutrients, many of the available options at your local drugstore have lackluster formulations.
Though most people will get some of the nutrients they need from foods, many prenatal supplements on the market don't meet the recommended micronutrient levels endorsed by the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists. For example, take calcium. Consumer Reports looked at 15 popular brands. 10 have calcium, but not enough. 5 don't have it at all. And when it comes to safety, supplements don't undergo the same strict scrutiny as prescription drugs. What about the price? Do you get what you pay for? Not always. See, our experts found some of the pricier prenatals lack nutrients that cheaper pills have. For instance, Nature-made prenatal multivitamin folic acid plus DHA soft gels has most of the recommended amounts of nutrients, and it's less than $1 per dose, whereas some prenatals cost nearly $2 per dose.
Prioritize those micronutrients that ACOG says you need, as well as any that your doctor says you may be deficient in.
After all, Taylor has more things to worry about.
Yeah, we still need to get the nursery done.
As with any medication or supplement, be sure to talk with your OBGYN or midwife before you start taking it. If you live in Illinois, then paying for gas and groceries got a little more expensive. State tax exemptions from last year came to an end today. For groceries, it's about a 1% tax increase. Gas will cost about 3 cents more a gallon. For more information, you can look for this story under the As Seen on TV section of KSDK.com. Let's take a look at some of the storm damage our weather watchers have sent us. Dennis sent us this picture of a tree that hit a home in Florissant. Unbelievable. Look at that root. Jean sent us pictures of trees blown over in her backyard in St. Louis. Here's Jean's pictures. You can share your photos with us too. We really appreciate it. If it's safe to do so, snap a pic and text it to 314-425-5355. It's been a long day for Cardinals fans. During Game 1 of today's doubleheader against the Yankees, the skies just opened up over Busch Stadium. The game was postponed for several hours. Our storm tracker caught fans getting soaked as they were trying to leave the game. Let's get back to meteorologist Jim Castillo, and they did get both games in.
Yeah.
The second game just ended, and you have our weather first forecast.
Yeah, it's amazing they did get those games in. You know, these storms are very severe, and then as we head into this evening, still some clouds out there, storms to the west of us, a beautiful shot now of the calm sky that we have, but it's still very humid. Very hot day today, too. It was 95 in St. Louis. And of course, the past couple of days, 96 yesterday, 95 the day before, and all 3 days severe weather. And the cloud-to-ground lightning strikes, thousands of them, very dangerous lightning. And of course, trees coming down with not only the lightning strikes, but also the wind and also the power lines on that too. Hey, something interesting, this cell here, we've been watching this. It went sub-severe, and this is what I'm talking about. So we're not completely done yet. This cluster of storms, this cell just ramped up again, winds of about 60 miles an hour approaching Gasconade County. So some hail in this, probably quarter size as it moves to the east at about 30 miles an hour. Then we're getting more development to the north here. Nothing severe, just garden variety thunderstorms, but some heavy rain and also some lightning there And then looking back a little bit further south and west again toward that severe cell here, right along 50, again approaching that Gasconade County area, and eventually it moves through our region, through St. Louis. It's following Interstate 70, again moving east at about 30 miles an hour. So keep in mind more lightning, more heavy downpours. And more than likely, most of these will not be severe during the overnight, but we still have to watch that cell. So that future cast, here it is, showing up about midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, right through the metro, and then it pushes into Illinois again. More showers and storms for you through 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And then as we get into tomorrow, partly sunny and spottier showers and storms, a lot of dry time in here, and high temperatures in the 80s. So a little bit cooler, but still very humid. Severe weather chances tomorrow look like they'll be to our south and east. That's some great news. We need a break. And that high today in St. Louis, 95, low this morning of 71, 89 is the average. So we were above average for that high, 70 for that average low, close to that, and 1.44 inches of rainfall, something we desperately needed and we did get. But along with that came the severe weather. So this area of high pressure down to the south, jet stream is right overhead, and that's really just taking some of that moisture and frontal systems right through the area. Little disturbances right into our region. 87 for Sunday, 91 for Monday, 95 for the 4th of July. Still some storm chances, Ann, as we get into Tuesday, Wednesday, and into Thursday.
Jim, thank you. Corey, what's coming up in sports?
Well, Ann, it may have been a wet one in St. Louis today, but the sports must go on. I've got the excitement at City Park and Busch Stadium coming up next.
The Sports Desk is sponsored by Jim Butler Chevrolet, the Midwest's #1 Chevy dealer 10 years running.
If you had City SC on top of the West this far into the season, you're a liar, plain and simple. Nobody did. But doubters, injuries and all, they're still on top, and they tried to make it 2 wins in a row tonight at City Park against lowly Colorado. Another rocking sold-out crowd tonight at City Park, and they had a lot to cheer for early on. 3rd minute of the game, corner kick. Here comes Tim Parker with the header. It's his first goal since scoring the franchise's first ever goal on opening night in Austin. Then look at this play coming up from Sam Adeniran. He has been absolutely incredible since he's come back. Keeps it alive, feeds Jared Stroud, who smokes it past the keeper. It's 2-0 just 10 minutes into the game, and that's where it would finish. A clean sheet for Roman Berkey and company as City gets a nice win over Stan Kroenke's bottom-feeding Rapids. City is all alone atop the West.
We have one scary moment in the first minute of the game, but I thought from then on we mitigated any challenge that they did have throughout the 90 minutes. So, you know, the clean sheet is just a reward for the hard work, you know, an early start for the game. That's what we wanted, you know, we wanted a rapid start. We wanted to put them in a quick game.
Well, if you wanted to see the Yankees in St. Louis these past 2 days, Mother Nature really made you earn it. Last night was a washout, and it was a soggy day for today's all-day baseball marathon at Busch, but the doubleheader against the Bronx Bombers was not without its moments. Game 1, Jack Flaherty on the mound. He was good. We're going to get back to him in just a little bit. First, look at where this pitch is and where it ends up. Paul Goldschmidt is a strong man. 3-run blast for the MVP. As for Flaherty, it was a good one. Like I said, 6 innings, no runs, 4 strikeouts. Nice double play there. More home run action on later. Nolan Gorman demolishes this baseball. 2-run blast, his 16th of the year. We had more than 2.5 hours of rain delays in Game 1, but the Cards finally prevailed 11-4. The nightcap got kicked off with a nice ovation for Harrison Bader, back in town with the Yankees. He got a sac fly in his first at-bat. Lars Nootbaar homered in his first at-bat. Sends that one out to Freeze's lawn in dead center. And Jordan Walker, well, he may have lost his hit streak in Game 1, but came out firing in Game 2. That's a 111-mile-per-hour shot to score a run down the line. But the Yankees were out in front all game, and they added on in the 9th. They win Game 2 6-2. As for Bader, I asked him yesterday what he thought that ovation may feel like. And let's hear what the guy he was traded for last year, Jordan Montgomery, who starts tomorrow, thinks about facing his former team without MVP Aaron Judge.
You know, if there's a moment in there where fans want to, you know, cheer a little loud, of course, I'll soak that up. I've seen in the past done to players who've rolled through here. So overall, I'm just looking forward to the experience, and I'm looking forward to just soaking it all in.
Yeah, I talked to him out there before. He told me he was ducking me. So he's such a good player, and I love watching him. Right when the play happened, I texted him or DM'd him or something, but just made sure he was okay, and I hate to see that he's hurting.
Well, if you wanted Ryan O'Reilly back in a Blue Note sweater, I have some bad news tonight. He signed a 4-year deal with the Predators today. He's getting $4.5 million a year in Nashville, and we'll see quite a bit of St. Louis this upcoming season. And hopefully a dry game at Busch Stadium tomorrow. 1 out of 3, we got to get one dry game.
And those were some loyal fans.
Oh, yes. You stay through that, you're loyal for sure.
And they let the Game 1 people stay for Game 2. I don't know if anybody did, but
I don't know.
They could. Let's get to Jim with the final check of the weather. Jim?
All right, checking out that radar, you know, that one cell, again, Osage County, Cole County, but it's moving east toward Gasconade County. We'll keep our eyes on this. It has quarter-size hail and wind up to about 60 miles an hour, so it's almost below severe limits, but it kind of ramped up again. So that cluster of showers and storms moving eastward, and we're going to watch that throughout the night, so still a chance of showers and storms in here. And then tomorrow, a little bit cooler, 87, 91 on Monday. Lesser chances of storms the next couple of days. Tuesday, it starts to ramp up a little bit, but 95. So it's hot, it's humid, and another chance of storms on Wednesday. And then we dry out again by the end of the week. And next weekend, maybe 80s for highs. Not bad.
Jim, thank you. And thank you for being with us for 5 on Your Side at 10. Saturday Night Live is next. Join us for the latest weather on Today in St. Louis tomorrow morning. They start at 6 a.m. Have a great Sunday.